Welcome back everybody. In this video, we will learn about HTTP requests, Axios package, and how do you fetch data using Axios package. Let's start with HTTP requests first. Essentially, HTTP request calls are the fundamental way in which data is exchanged between the client and the server. They are used to request resources or send data to a web server. HTTP request is a protocol, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is a protocol that underlies all data communication on the World Wide Web and how clients interact with the server. To interact with the server, we have a couple of HTTP methods. They are like get, post, put, delete, patch, options, head. Get is used to request the data from the specific resource. Example like fetching an web page or a list of items from an API. Post is used to send data to the server to create or update a resource. Example like submitting form data or uploading a file. Put is used to send data to the server to create or update a resource. Example like updating an user's information. Delete is used to delete a specified resource. Example like removing an user from a database. Patch, essentially, it is used to apply partial modifications to a resource. Example like updating a specific field in a user's profile. Options is used to describe the communication options for the target resource. Example like checking with HTTP methods are supported by a server or not. Head, similar to the get, but it retrieves only the headers and not the body of the response. Example, checking if a resource exists by examining the headers. These are the couple of HTTP methods and important methods which we should be aware of. To make an HTTP request or communication to a server, we need a package called Axios. If you remember, in the fourth unit, we used this Axios package to talk with an server. We also used fetch. I'll talk about a difference between fetch and Axios in a minute. We need an Axios package to talk to an HTTP request. So it's a popular JavaScript library. You must install it, please. And it supports on browser and Node.js environment as well. And it is basically a promise based, promised, and it can also handle with an async and an awaits. It is more powerful tool in handling asynchronous operations. It supports all HTTP methods, including which we have listed before. The biggest advantage of an Axios package is automatically transforms the JSON data while sending a request and also while receiving the requests. So to do that, just install Axios package. How do I install? npm install Axios. We already done this, please. Then the major differences between Axios and the Fetch is, you know, Fetch is an browser oriented. It is coming with a browser implicitly. You need not install it exclusively like Axios, npm install Axios. And as I said before, Axios transforms data like JSON data to an JSON data while receiving and sending the data to an server. There is no need of an additional parsing. If you look into the fetch, yes, we need an additional parsing. And Axios comes with an built-in error handling techniques, whereas fetch does not support directly handling the errors. The programmer has to take care of that. All right. These are the few major differences between Axios and the fetch. Let's try to dive into an example now. I have requested first basic 4 requests like request, get, post, put, and delete operations. Let's try to work with it. HTTP request, you know, Axios. I already installed Axios and I imported that here on the line one. Axios.get, and I would like to get an data from the request, which is an powerful tool which supports an um, to deal with an dummy data, right? So I'm trying to deal with an users, please. So if it is available, what does it does? What does it does? It if it is available, this promise is handled through the then, and the response I come and sit into the response place. So this object I would like to uh, destructure that and store into my data, and I'm trying to update that to the my data state over here. I mean to say set user state will update and sets updates the user state over here, and I'm trying to retrieve that users.map. It gives a bunch of details. Actually, I'm trying to render only the ID, email, and the image. I hope this made sense. Axios.get, get is an HTTP method. Similarly, Axios.put, post, and all other things we'll be using in a minute. I hope this made sense. Let's try to call that HTTP request component, and let's look into that. You see that? This is the ID, this is the email ID, and this is the image it is trying to render. All right. So let's go ahead. Similarly, post, please. What does a post used for? To create or update the data. Let's try to look into that. So I'm creating an user called user here, and with the uh, name and the job fields in it. So Axios.post, I'm trying to use in a use effect here, and there is no dependencies, so that it performs an side effects while loading this component. Axios.post to the users, and what I would like to post, user. That's what I'm trying to post. If it is posted, you see, I try to get the response, and it tries to give the response in a format of an is it updated or not, and I would like to log it and also set to the state over here to the post ID. All right. If something goes wrong, I'm trying to handle that with a catch, and I would like to show up the posted ID. All right. So let's try to get this back. HTTP post, and also let me comment HTTP request for a moment. Let's save this. Go back to the browser. You see that it has posted. How I'm confirming? Let's look into the console. Go to the console. Let's try to clear everything and reload this. Do you see that? And you might be wondering why it has rendered a couple of times here, why it has logged. I'll talk about that in a moment. See, this is the name and the job which we wanted to update. If you look at our code, that is what we wanted to update, right? User name and the job. All right. And yes, it is been updated and gave the response like as an the data which is been updated in an object. That is what we are logging it there. All right. Now the question comes why it has logged for 2 times. This double logging is happening um, on the response data because of that React strict mode in index.js, please. And invokes and certain lifecycle methods implicitly. Use effect is also works likely uh, in development mode to identify the uh, potential side effects. So that's the reason it is trying to render that as in 2 times, please. For first time, it is trying to call for the with an ID 44. It has been updated, and second time it has been updated within 490 with the same data within 490, and that 490 has been showing up here. The ID which we wanted to destructure, we destructured it and trying to show that part, please. I wanted to get the ID of it, and I'm trying to see that one part. So does it really shows that in the data now? I wanted to see you that also. Copy the URL which I'm trying to use, paste it over here. You see that you're not seeing the data which we updated here. We are updated with a name and the job here. We are not seeing that one. right? This is because request .in data, it does not persist the data. It is designed to simulate a real backend server and provides some fake responses for testing purposes. We are just testing over here. If you have created any API, real API, like talking to a database, MongoDB or SQL, then it directly goes and sit into that database which you are connected with. So therefore, while you can see the post ID rendering in our application, uh, the data is not actually stored in the request.in. This is because request.in does not persist the data. It's in just an um, simulation of a real backend server. I hope that is also clear for you now. Now let's continue. Let me close this. Okay, let it be. Let's try to look into the other method, put method. You know, put method is also used to create or update the resource. So put method, what is the difference between post and the put then? So the the difference from the post is that put requests are idempotent. That means if you have make this same request multiple times, the result will not be the same as it make it once. All right. So updating an example, like updating an user's information is one of it. Please, just to update something, you can do the with the put. You know, the same thing. I'm using this time and another one with a not with a users, or you can use the users as well. If it is updated, I wanted to get the data in a correct format and I wanted to know the updated data. In the previous example, it has been updating something over here, right? I wanted to get this data updated. If I'm getting this, yes, the data is getting updated perfectly, right? And of course, I cannot see the data in the request now. This is because like it isn't just in simulation API, not in real backend. So let's go to the code and I'm updating that and to the state called updated yet, and I'm trying to use it. So let's try to put that over here and this part. Do you see that the last data is updated with so and so time? All right. You can see that here. Similarly, delete. Let me comment out this. Update with the delete. Save this. The delete. I would like to delete the post call within one. you know if it is really deleted successfully, it sends us a success state like delete successful, and I wanted to see the response what it is trying to generate. So just a message I'm trying to set up over here within the state here. So let's log that response as well. Go back here. Deleted successfully, the data, the first one got deleted. At least you are getting an confirmation through our console logs here. Let me redo this. You see that one of the data is been deleted here, and this is rendering two times again. This is because of the React strict mode. Please ignore this two-time rendering part. I hope this made sense and you are clear. How do you talk to any servers with using HTTP methods? And also importantly, the get one, as per our syllabus, get one is very important for us. All right. We have only seen get, post, put, delete here. Try to work within patch, options, and head. Patch is something like when you would like to update the part of a resource, then you go within patch. All right. Name itself is trying to tell something. That is all for this video. Thank you all.